Hey, it's Rich, the Louisiana hobby guy. I just found out my niece is pregnant, and it just so happens that I have one of my Patreons that's looking for a special gift for a pregnant family member of his. So don't go anywhere because we're going to make a gift that'll last a lifetime. Coming right up. All right, so today we're going to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to show you the final, or almost final, not finished, but almost final product. And I'm going to show you how I got there. So I started by getting some balsa wood that I don't mind, throwing away. And I did my first one in grayscale and came up with this. And this is kind of blurry. It sort of looks, you can see the image. It looks okay. And I said, well, let me go back to my old method, which my old method was painting a piece of wood white and then stripping the paint with the laser. So this was, let me see which one. This was my second try at it with the painted wood. And this was just a test, and it sort of came out okay. I don't really necessarily like the look of the white. I tried it one more time in Jarvis with the white, and it looks okay. But I finally did it in Jarvis on a real piece of plywood, a 3mm thick piece of plywood, and this is the final result. And I bumped the speed on this up to 6,000, the power at 85%. And the trick to this, when you're doing these sonograms, is that you have to have the minimum power on the image at 0, so that these areas in here are not touched by the laser. And I wanted to get a little more definition around the edges where it's not touched. So I did slow the speed down a little bit, but it didn't come out quite, not very good. So if you can see here, all of the text is perfectly readable, and it's a really nice image. So we're kind of going backwards here. So the next thing I want to do is jump over into Lightburn, and I'll show you how I got that final image adjustment. So let's go jump in Lightburn and take a look. All right, so let's get started in Lightburn. In Lightburn, in my art library, I have got a couple of sonograms in here. And I'm going to use the one from my niece, not my patron, just because I know it won't be a problem for me to use it for this video. And I always talk about you can do anything in Lightburn. However, there does come a time where you may need to use some other software. So what I've done here is I've gotten this photograph from my nephew in Florida. And the photograph was skewed. You can see the remnants of the original photograph here if you look. It comes down like so. So it was turned to the left, and it was also cocked sideways. And you can tell by these dots right over here. See this? This is the edge of the original photograph. So I guess I could have done it in Lightburn, but it was just faster and easier for me to do it in Cuttle. So all I did was I just painted a black border around the entire outside. You can see up here where I actually clipped that by mistake. But this is the final result. It took me about 30 seconds and maybe a minute in Cuttle to fix that. But it's still not ready, so I wanted to actually do the image adjusting here in Lightburn. So what I'm going to do is, with the image selected, with the handle selected, I'm going to right-click on it. I'm going to come down here to Adjust Image. And in the Adjust Image, you can see that it's flipped. Well, because I originally brought it in, I was connected to my CO2. So that is the original image, but I flipped it over. So what I'm going to do here, I have some presets already because I've played with this, and oh my goodness, I've run 4 or 5 burns already, maybe 6, you know, just to get some ideas. And this is what I came up with right here. This is my perfect setting. So 14 on the contrast, 14 plus, 3 plus on the brightness, 1.3 on the gamma, and nothing on the radius or the sharpening. And you can see the difference here. So if we come in, you can see how white the letters have gotten there as compared to over here. So big difference if we can look at profile to profile here. This one's like yellow, this one's pure white. So big difference in that, and as well as, and the most important thing, are the baby features. You know, here you can see the face, and here you see it's brightened up. And of course the actual sonar waves, I brighten those up as well. I don't want them to be brown. I want them to be pure white, or pure wood, I should say. So that's all I've done. All I've done is adjust the contrast, the brightness, and the gamma. And I've gone ahead and put this in grayscale, excuse me. Now, I did find out that after some testing that Jarvis was the better mode to do this in. So I wound up running this burn in Jarvis. And that's all I did. And it's fine. There's the final product right there. It's ready to burn. So I'm going to bring up the burn now and show you in, you know, time lapse how this actually burned. And I think it came out really nice. So here we go. Let me bring that camera up. All right, so to try and save a little bit of time, I'm just going to sort of explain what I did from here on out, and I will bring up a couple of the videos. I'll show you real quick the video of the frame, doing the frame for it. Oh, let me tell you about the frames. So I went shopping online, and I went onto Michael's website, and I found these nice 4 by 6 inch frames, and this is it right here. And I wasn't actually planning on using this. I was planning on making some myself. So what I did was I took a picture of it, or actually I saved the image from the website, and I edited it and made it into a graphic, and I took a 4 by 8 sheet of plywood, and I went ahead and ran off stacks of them, you know, just making my own frames, which I thought was going to be cheaper. And then I was wondering, well, how do these stand up on like a mantle or something like that? So I went back on Michael's website, and I guess about 2 days went by, and all of a sudden I see these frames on sale for $1 a piece. Well, I figured out how they stand up. They have a little dowel rod included with a couple of drill holes here, so you can stand them in either direction. Pretty simple design. I kind of like it. But anyway, these went on sale for $1 a piece. So I said, oh, well, you know what? I'm just going to add 150 of them to my cart. Well, I wasn't able to get the whole 150, but I bought out the entire stock for the Michaels here on the West Bank. And I ran down there and picked these up, and save a whole bunch of time from, you know, sanding and finishing and drilling and cutting the dowel rods and so on and so on. So for $1 a piece on Michael's website, you could pick up these frames, these whitewood frames, and they're really nice. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers, 6-layer thick plywood. Not bad, you know. Of course, the top is whitewood, and the top, when I looked at it, was thick enough. It's about 2 millimeters or more. Thick enough where, you know, you're not going to get the odd colors. So, you know, burning through one layer to the next. And of course, you know, they're going to be different colored layers. So I just went with these. And let me show you the video real quick of the, I ran these off on the 50 watt CO2, the frames themselves with some lettering around the outside and a couple of graphics. And let me show that to you really quick. So this is just regular text, and that video cut off early for some reason. I don't know why. But here is the finished product anyway, on the 50 watt. And there was that one little anomaly up there where something strange in the wood only happened on one of them. And that's just a little graphic that I designed a couple years ago with the word love in it, some balloons. And this is obviously before I finished it. So that is the actual burn. And let me show you now the finished product. So let's see what we got here. So I know this one. This one is the diode laser. So I did the sonogram, or ultrasound is actually what it's called, I believe. I did the ultrasound picture at 6,000 speed, 100%, and I did this one on the new X-Tool D1. And that I'm going to use some of that footage for my review video on the X-Tool that's going to be coming out next month. So that's the diode. Then I decided that I didn't want to spend, you know, an hour and 15 minutes doing a second one, because I wanted to do a second one for my sister, the grandmother of the child. And so I went ahead and did this one on the 40 watt Monport CO2. Now I couldn't use the 50 watt on this one because the wood here, this is just regular hobby wood. It's only, you know, 2 millimeters thick, and the 50 watt has a minimum power of 10%. So no matter how fast I ran it, I couldn't dial in the speed and the power. I had to run it at 10 watts, you know, or 10%, I should say, not 10 watts. I put my little logo on the back. But I had to run it at 10% power. 10% power, and I couldn't dial in the speed on the 50 watt. So I switched over to the 40 watt, which is probably a 25 or maybe up to 35 watt tube. And I can run that one at a lower power, all the way down to, like, you know, I guess it fires at about 4%. So I was able to get a good burn on that one. And actually they look pretty much the same. So let me show you side by side. The one on your left is going to be the diode, and the one on your right is the CO2. So just showing that you can do this on either machine. And I think this is a great gift. I think it's an easy $50 sale if you want to run some weekend ads on Facebook Marketplace. Very easy to do. A very simple process once you get it down. Now, the only thing about this is every one of these ultrasounds is going to be different. And what you have to do, you got to make sure you can't do like what I did and get a skewed, you know, off-centered picture. If you're going to sell these, you have to get, you have to tell the customer that they have to give you a perfectly square picture, you know, perfectly square, and it can't be skewed, photograph of the ultrasound. Otherwise, you're going to have to go in and edit it like I did. And that you know, even though it only takes a couple minutes to edit, it's best to get a pure picture in high resolution. Of course, me getting a picture in a text message is definitely not high resolution. So, I mean, it is, but it's so small that it just doesn't work out that way. So a good picture of it, actually taken with the camera, perfectly squared, not skewed, and you know, you'll have a much better image and a much better result than I got. So the only thing, let's jump back to Lightburn real quick, because I just want to say the only thing that you got to look for is on here, when you come to when you right click on it and you go to adjust image, what you want to do in here, and I don't want that negative image, that was a test that I was doing on the CO2. What you want to do is get this as white as possible, okay? And now you're going to set your cuts and layers over here. Your minimum power is not really going to matter. You know, I set it to 0 just because out of habit, but the minimum power is really only the cornering for the laser. So the power itself is going to come from the photograph, you know, from the different lightness or darkness of the black, you might say. So here where it sees black, it's going to burn hard, and here where it sees white, it's probably not going to burn at all. So don't be confused by minimum power. I set it to 0 out of habit. Don't ask me why, but you don't have to worry about minimum power on this, other than to, you know, just keep it low. And I don't even know why I'm saying that, because really the minimum power only affects the cornering, the on and off as it makes the corners. So the only thing you want to make sure is that this is real white, real white. So you gotta, again, in the adjust image, just make sure that this is real white. And I came up with these numbers and, you know, made this preset like I told you earlier. And 14.3 and 1.3 worked out perfect for me. And I also did my patrons sonogram as well, and those numbers worked just perfectly for me. So I'm going to say that that preset that I made is going to be easy to use in future jobs. This job took a long time because I had to get that preset down. So I went through 6, you know, pieces. Then I cut some more, and I went through 4 more, and then 4 more, and then 4 more. And, you know, this went on and on until I was up through about 35 pieces of wood, until I got it to where I thought, hey, you know, this is a great process. This looks good. I laid them all out, analyzed them, figured out which one looked the best. Some of them I painted, some of them I didn't paint, some of them I did in negative image. And I spent the time to do this. So maybe this will save you a little time if you use my preset numbers as your starting point, and then see what your laser does with that, and then, you know, adjust it from there. But I would highly recommend that you run, you know, at least 4 to 8 of these, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and figure out at different speeds and powers. And what I did was I'd run 2 at the same speed and vary the power. And then I'd run 2 more at a different speed and vary the power in those, and 2 more at a different speed, vary the power in those. And what I came up with was a wide selection of different types of burns. And from there, I was able to pick the best one. And, you know, I only have to do this once because now I've got my presets. I know my speed and my power. And, you know, I can probably run off 40 or 50 of these pretty quick now. So there is a little time and a little investment in getting your settings dialed in just perfectly. But once you've got that, I don't see any reason why you can't sell these. You know, if you're a maker, a crafter, and you're doing business online, you've got an Etsy shop, you do Facebook Marketplace, you know, whatever it might be. I can almost promise you that if I put an ad up on Facebook Marketplace with these things, people are going to say, wow, that is a great idea, a great gift idea. It's not too expensive. You know, it's not like giving somebody, you know, a big bag of diapers for the baby as a gift. You're giving them a precious memory that they'll treasure forever. This, I promise you, this will be in the family forever. When I give this to my niece and my sister, anytime I go to visit them, it's going to be out on display. I already know that. You know, and I know how important these things are. You look at any woman that goes out when she's pregnant and gets an ultrasound. What did they do with the ultrasound pictures when they get home? Bam, they go right on the refrigerator for everybody to see. You know, and that's probably true of everyone. You know, so putting this one out, I think they're going to be really proud of it. And I'm sort of proud of it. I mean, it's probably not the best one you'll ever see. And I guess as time goes on and I make more, I'll come up with different ideas. Maybe I'll come up with different shades for the wood. Maybe I'll keep working on the painted ones and seeing how removing the paint comes out. That might be a great idea too. That's a good idea. You know what? I might invert it and do it in different colors and see how that comes out. So that's another idea right there. But I mean, these are all things to, you know, stimulate your thought process and try and inspire you to think of something on your own. You might come up with some better ideas, you know. Oh, you know what I forgot to talk about today? Let's jump back over to the other window for a minute. I forgot to mention the raffle. So there's only 15 days left, folks. Oh, you know what? By the time, no, 15 days left. I'll be posting this video shortly. In this raffle for the Long Array 5. This was a great machine. If you saw my review, I absolutely loved it. I liked it so much that I bought one for the wood shop. So, you know, that's got to tell you something right there. So go over and enter in the raffle. There's only 5,600 entries and half the month left. So, and there are 4 ways to enter, and you can enter every day. So jump over there and take advantage of that raffle, because somebody's going to be winning that Long Array 5. And like I said, I liked it so much I bought one. So that's about it today, folks. I'm sorry if I went a little longer than I expected, but yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed doing this particular video. I enjoyed doing this job. I'm going to enjoy even more. I'm going to ask my sister to video chat with me when she gets the package so that I can see her reaction to it. And I'm sure it's going to be a fabulous reaction. I know she's going to love it. I know my niece is going to love it. And if you do this for anyone, I'm sure they're going to love it as well. So, you know, I hope you enjoyed this video today. Let's get out there and make something. Let's make some precious memories. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.